let's get to business. Let's get down to business. I'll probably keep all this, but all right, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Run It Back. The boys are back in town. Funny enough, we were just talking about the TV show The Boys, but I'm Lindenberg, your host, is always joined by my guys, Mr. Ian Hawley, Adam Schubert. Today we're reviewing Heat, the classic, the 1995 American crime drama by one Michael Mann. How you fellas doing? I'll start off with you. Should be, man. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty well. Doing a lot of flopping around with jobs right now. I've got starting one job, but going to interview for another one, and was trying to get a second one, and so now I'm just like. But the one positive thing is now I got like a 2-screen setup because the job that I'm on now gave me like all this free hardware. So
hey, that's hard.
Now I got the internet is over here, and I'm like looking into the camera.
Hey, so your job hooked up your equipment. I rock with that because you are looking pretty crisp. I didn't even realize. Oh
no, it's the same laptop.
Oh well,
but
maybe.
But it is on a lift. Like they gave me one of those lifts that you put your laptop on so it doesn't overheat.
See it up, and then you're not running the internet in the background. Okay, I get it. Rockstar, hell yeah! Shout out to you, my man. Ian, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Still on the night shift. Still wanting to quit my job. No, it's not that bad. the job itself is fine. The hours are just awful.
I'm the same exact way. You know this. Like it's not the job. It's the fucking time, bro. It's like.
What time do you normally go in? Because I get in at 11 p.m. and I leave at like 8.
Oh, see, no, so if I pre-record, I'll try to go in at like 2 or 3, like 2 or 3 in the morning and just like record my show. If I'm going in live, then I go in at like 4:30.
Oh, so that's not so. I mean, that might actually be worse, honestly.
It's a different.
You wake up at like what 1?
Yeah,
2?
it's a different type of situation.
Yeah.
Like it fucking sucks, but. I digress. This is not us talking about work. Well, Ian, let's talk. I'll start with you because me and Schubert have seen this movie. He'll be back shortly. What were your initial thoughts on this movie? Did you like this movie? Like, I don't know if I hyped it up a lot. I definitely expect you to say you like this more than Sicario.
The only reason I didn't initially like Sicario is because A, I didn't know what the hell was going on the whole time. And B, it was so damn intense. Like I was just, by the end of Sicario, I felt like I needed to go take a shower because I had been at the gym for 2 hours, just like sweating profusely. But this movie, while you don't always know exactly where things are going to go, it's much more clear than Sicario. Like the plot line, like we're doing heists. This is a classic heist movie.
Worse.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I enjoyed seeing like it's obviously an ensemble cast, even for the time. Like you had a lot of big names for the time, but then you have some characters like Natalie Portman, for example, or I never remember the actor's name, but he played David Palmer in 24, the president, for years. The dude who's working as a chef.
Oh yeah, the Allstate guy.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you. And he's the Allstate guy. Yeah. So there's a lot of good like
pinch hitters, for sure.
Exactly. A lot of characters that surprise you in this movie.
Six man's gonna be tough for this one.
It really is, man. I was thinking about that while watching it. I was like, we have like 13 relevant characters here. How the hell are we just gonna narrow it down to 5 people?
And then, of course, determining the best actor, because we got to do Pacino versus De Niro. But, Shuby, what are your initial thoughts on Heat as returning to it? Me and you are Heat guys.
This time around, I just realized how, excruciatingly long it is and that it doesn't need to be that way.
They got a lot of dialogue with, like, some as much as, like, the Natalie Portman character.
And Michael Mann loves a set. And I'm gonna sit here for a minute and play like some music.
I'm gonna extend this. We're gonna build you into this. Yeah, no, Michael Mann. I'll say this. This movie in '95, it does still feel modern, even though I realized that this time, like, man, there's no cell phones, and like the way they're investigating is very premature. But it doesn't feel like where if you go watch like Copland, for example. Copland feels dated as hell. Like there's cop movies from the 90s and heist movies from the 90s that just don't feel right today. Whereas this movie, if you showed someone who is like young this movie, I don't necessarily think they would think, oh, this movie is like not a modern movie just because of how like good Michael Mann filmed it. But I do agree with you. He was adding a little extra seconds in there where he didn't need to. This movie should have been more streamlined. Pacino, De Niro versus. But I'm not mad at what we got by any means.
No, and they do tie a lot of those background characters in at the end.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah,
they definitely do. So,
but I guess my last thought on it is that with Michael Mann being the director and knowing what he did with Tokyo Vice and being a part of like that team, you can see how some of the pacing that's done in Heat is utilized in Tokyo Vice.
And you can tell how he got better at it in Tokyo Vice too, getting to the point. Yep. No, I'm with you on that 100%. And we may be getting Heat too. I guess we can talk about that now. Yeah. Michael Mann has been on Instagram constantly posting about Heat 2, the book that's coming out. And basically, Heat 2 is going to be about Vincent, Neil, Chris. Basically, for those that don't know the names, De Niro, Pacino, and Val Kilmer and his wife, about their time before they got to this point. So we'll see Neil's upcoming and Vincent's upcoming, and it's like it's very interwoven. And he wanted to do it as a book. And Pacino found out about Pacino has been known about the book, and he was like, if anybody's gonna play me. And I was like, whoa, Michael Mann's not even talking about this. Pacino was like, I want Timothy Chalamet to play me. I'm just letting it be known, even if it doesn't happen. And I'm like, do you know something we don't know? So like, could you see TC as Pacino?
That'd be a really young Pacino. Or I mean, that'd be a really young Vincent. You know, mm-hmm. Be first wife Vincent.
Like that's 20-year-old Vincent. Like that's like just getting to the department. Who would you? I don't know if TC could pull it off. I love TC.
Well, the fact of the matter is that if they do this movie, it's gonna suck. So,
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't need this movie.
Yeah, like just by telling me the description of like what it would be, it sucks. Like, so we're gonna do a movie that is a sequel to a movie that was all about the tension between Pacino and De Niro's characters, and then we're gonna do a sequel about their come up where we know that they don't meet each other because they haven't met each other yet.
Yeah, no, they can't meet each other.
Yeah.
Hey, I got faith in Michael Mann. I love Tokyo Vice. I love like Collateral, some of his other hits. I think Michael Mann does fall in like that. He doesn't fall in the Nolan, Tarantino, Scorsese tier, but I think he's like right under. Like, dude has hits Collateral, Heat. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Nah, you got more than that. I count Tokyo Vice. And then hold on, because see, I think he hating. I'm about to pull up Michael Mann. I think he has more than a Thief.
I'm not hating. I like what he does, but I mean,
I'm a big Thief fan. So like, I think Michael Mann, has
Thief.
Thief, yeah, with James Caan, and then I like Miami Vice with Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell.
Oh, you like that movie?
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So we shall see.
Do you like Ali?
No, his Ali is bad. His Ali is bad. So but that's besides the point. So let's get into background of this. Heat is a 1995 American crime drama film written and directed by Michael Mann. Features Pacino, De Niro, Tom Sizemore, that's the actor, John Voight, Val Kilmer in supporting roles. The film follows conflict between an LAPD detective played by Pacino and a career thief played by De Niro, while depicting its effect on their professional lives and personal lives. Mann originally wrote the script for Heat, basing on Chicago police officer Chuck Admonson in 1974 in his pursuit of a criminal named Neil McCauley, after whom De Niro's character is named. The script was used as a TV pilot, and you can actually see the pilot on YouTube right now. It's called LA Takedown. Well, it became the TV film LA Takedown. The pilot didn't receive the order. So basically he remade like his shit. He didn't get his shit made that he wanted. So he was like, fuck it. Now I got more power. I'm getting this shit made for real now. That's badass. I'm not hating on that. That's hard. Like, nah, y'all thought my first shit was a flop. I'm a remake and show y'all it wasn't a flop. That's kind of hard. I can't
also, this would have been if he would have never happened, and they were making Heat now, and the Heat or not Heat. If they were making Heat now with today's television people, this would be a phenomenal television show. Like, I mean, if you can imagine spending a lot more time with like Chris and Ashley Judd, his wife, and more time with Natalie Portman's character to make us actually care about that shit.
More time with Tom Sizemore and Danny Trejo.
The serial killer guy. What's his name?
Oh, Waingro.
Waingro.
Fuck that dude, bro. Fucking Waingro. So, no, you're right. This is a TV show would have been crazy. But the film had critical and commercial success. It grossed $187 million on a $60 million budget. And Michael Mann received praise for direction, screenplay, action sequences, although it didn't receive any award nominations, which is a damn shame because in 1995, Braveheart, Al Pacino should have won something. De Niro should have won something. If you look at the 1995 Oscar winners, it's atrocious. Like, I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on, let me see. Here we go. 67th. Oh no, this movie came out in 90, so it would be the 96 Oscars. Excuse me.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I'm pretty sure it would be for 96.
Yeah, it's not 96. Okay, so yeah, Mel Gibson with Braveheart, like, Best actor, Nicolas Cage, Leaving Las Vegas, Best supporting actor, Kevin Spacey, Usual Suspects. I like that. They wouldn't have beat Verbal Kid. Yeah. But I think best actor, best director, best picture, I still think Usual Suspects should have won. So this is a year where I think a lot of films that we love got screwed. So,
So would you say that The Usual Suspects should have won over this?
Yeah, I do. I think Usual Suspects is a better movie. I just like the acting more in this movie.
Yeah, probably so.
Like, I think being that they're both robbery films, this one is.
Now remember that, Lyndon. When you're scoring this at the end.
Oh yeah, no, I will. I think this movie, the thing about this movie that makes it great is Pacino and De Niro. Whereas with the other one, the story carries it. Like, the story in this one's okay. It's not a bad story, but it's not a great story. It's really just, like you said, Pacino versus De Niro. That's what this movie comes down to. So, but shout out to Usual Suspects, but not shout out to like the director and fucking Kevin Spacey. But let's get to the scene rundown. So this one, a lot of scenes dragged out. So I just wrote down the major moments. Starts by showing them getting everything ready for the heist. We then meet Pacino, see the beginning of him and his wife's issues. And then I wrote down bitches popping pills. That's where Natalie Portman's getting the pills from.
Yeah, terrible mom.
Yeah.
Is she a bad mom?
She's
yes.
It's 8:00 in the morning. I'm gonna find a delicate way to phrase this. It's 8:00 in the morning. Her daughter's right downstairs. There's no door or even wall to their bedroom when you walk up the stairs.
They're fucking.
Yeah. It's like, and you have a teenage daughter in the house. Like, A, what kind of example are you setting there? And then B, you just roll over and start popping pills. Also at 8 a.m.
Look, she had to get her fix.
No wonder your daughter's messed up.
And then,
and she's got a deadbeat dad. Like, one of you has to be responsible.
The question I have with what we're talking about at this point is: do Al Pacino sex scenes make you uncomfortable, or is that just me?
I mean, if we were to see an Al Pacino sex scene in 2022, that would make me very uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, but he's an old man.
The
I'm saying, like, just right.
The 95 Pacino sex scene didn't make me nearly as uncomfortable as an old man Pacino sex scene would.
I'm not gonna lie, Schubert. When I saw it, I got a little. I was like, "Ooh, Al Pacino." Don't know if I need this.
I mean, I was just like, this just doesn't look good.
No, it wasn't
like, I don't think anyone wants to see this.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Schubert, 100%. Also, the wife, I'm just like, okay, you went from one deadbeat and now you're with a cop who can't spend time with you. Lady, do better job picking men. Like, this guy can't spend time with you, yet you're just bitching at him. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what his job is. Like, what are we talking about? And this comes up later.
That's the whole thing with her is like, when she gets to the point like later in the movie or whatever, like where she's like, yeah, like, this and that. And I'm like, you knew that this was the issues. Like this is not a new development. Like,
and he had 2 wives before you. Like, what do you think was going to happen?
And I think he made a good point.
You thought he was going to stay home this time?
Fuck no. Dude chooses his job over everything. But we'll get more to that because like she might be the loser of this movie. We then meet Wayne Grow as they go and do the heist. And I'm just like, fucking Wayne Grow, dude. That dude sucks. I fucking hate Wayne Grow.
He's even got a terrible name.
Like, what the fuck? But man,
with Jameson.
We talked about this when we did the Dark Knight about how Christopher Nolan was inspired by that heist. First heist is still holds up as like top tier, just the way they took down that Brinks truck, took out all the guys, and then fucking Wayne Grow had to go and kill the cop like a fucking idiot. He was moving.
Yeah, man. You never trust the guy with the ponytail.
Yeah, I said that they were just lucky that Jason Statham wasn't in that armor van. For anyone who's seen Wrathman.
That's true. Statham would have got him out of here. Because I don't know if De Niro's as good a shooter as Statham was. Like in terms of robbery shooters, De Niro's pretty average. It's about like his gang, but they do have a better shootout we'll talk about later. But First Robbery, I loved. Then the next thing I wrote down is the crew all meet and De Niro wants to kill Wayne Grow. I love how he fucking smashes his head into the table. And then that guy, like pretty big guy, looks. And then fucking Tom Sizemore's like, don't say nothing, bitch. Just gives him a look. And the dude's like, oh, back to my paper.
This doesn't concern me. I'll be back to the sports section now.
I don't want nothing to do with them. And then they take his ass outside.
What's going on with stocks?
Take his ass outside and they almost kill his ass. And then they let him go because of the cops. Like, they should have just held on to him.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. Like, if you're De Niro in that situation, and you see a cop car, like, secure this guy, like, put your foot on his throat or grab him by the neck or something to, like, make sure. Obviously, he's going to try and run away. Like, that's just a rookie move. And he's the boss. Like, how many times have you done this?
That was an Are We Sure for me. I was like, damn, okay, y'all just really let Wayne Grow just dip out. Next thing I wrote down is, boy, Chris's relationship sucks. Like, dude's going to De Niro's house, just sleeping on the floor. Dude, De Niro doesn't have no furniture. His wife, like, doesn't love him. Like, they're breaking shit in the house. Talk about toxic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, it sounds like you're being like, oh, poor Val Kilmer. But I mean, like, he's kind of like.
No, it's poor Ashley Judd. It's poor Ashley Judd for sure. And she just stays in it. And in the scene that makes me just feel so bad for her is when Neil's like, look, bro, stay with him. If he fucks up again, I'll pay for everything. Fuck him. I was like, whoa. Like, that felt like De Niro and like fucking like The Godfather or some shit. Like that felt like Italian mob boss De Niro, like in Goodfellas, making fucking Ray Liotta's wife stay with him. Like, we don't cheat. Keep your side pieces on the side. Like, that's what that felt like.
Well, it happened right after she was like fucking with Hank Azaria or whatever.
The fucking voice of The Simpsons. That shit's hilarious, bro. Oh, shit. Okay, so the next scene I have is De Niro then tells that woman, oh, this is where he meets Edie. How do y'all feel about Edie?
Oh, my God.
Terrible B-plot.
Do we think Edie really would have talked to De Niro after the man says, I'm looking in the metals? Why are you asking me about my business? Why are you so concerned with me, woman? Like, at that point, any woman that I know in 2022 would have just said, oh, you're a weirdo, and left.
Well, I mean, she stopped talking after that, and then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because, I mean, like, I thought that he, on one hand, and I wrote down, I'm like, if Evie talked to me, I would have just rolled with it. But, like, on the other hand, I could also see where, like, he was suspicious of it because, like, he's hot.
Bro, his thing is, we know the quote. It's you gotta be ready to drop everything at the drop of the dime when the heat's on your back and within 30 seconds. And like Edie's that person that gives him that baggage. And it's like, But yeah, Edie was hot. Also, Edie's like,
she was thirsty.
Edie's like 30 in LA. What's she doing with old man Neil? Like, Neil's in his 40s. Like, you're in LA, Edie. You're a very good looking girl. I don't know if you're going after Neil McCauley. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe she's got dad issues.
She might, and
I
honestly,
mean,
she
it's
might
only
be.
10 years.
She did say that she was, fresh there, and like she doesn't know too many people, so maybe she's lonely, that sort of thing. But God,
Yeah, definitely.
She said as
She's at a
much.
diner by herself.
like
She
imagine
later on says, "I am lonely."
like how bad of life you have to, like how bad of luck that is, that the first person you decide to like really have a connection with is this robber.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it even more baffling at the end with all of her decisions.
Yeah, she does make some questionable decisions at the end of that damn movie. But next thing I got after that is Vincent meets with his informant, and we get, give me all you got, give me all you got.
That's like the
Yeah,
first
that
time
was
when you're
just
watching
out
the
of
movie.
nowhere, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's out of nowhere. You're just like watching this movie. It's like kind of going like this right now, and then all of a sudden Al Pacino is just like, "Give me all you got," and he just like it just ramps, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is Al Pacino on at this point?" Because at this point, you don't really realize how crazy of a motherfucker he is, because you only see him at the crime scene. He doesn't like get too animated or anything. You can tell that he like really cares about his job, but then he's out here like scheming and dealing.
Yeah,
Which is what him talking to the informants reminded me a lot of Tokyo Vice, where like, we're talking to the criminal underworld, we're making deals for deal's sake, and the criminals want me to help them take out other criminals. I'm like, this shit is seedy.
It's super seedy, and then it's like this is where you see Al Pacino as like this coked out drug robbery cop, and it's like, bruh, like this came out of nowhere. Like when I first watched this, I was like, okay, he's very calm at first, and then it's like, oh, there's this other side of this guy where he just gets animated, like super, super, super fast, super hard, and like he just goes in nonstop. And I'm like, whoa, okay. His cops are used to it. Reggie should have had his thing ready, but say la vie. Give me all you got. Best shit ever. I love Pacino in this, doing all that crazy shit. All right. Next thing I wrote down is, let's see. Oh, I wrote Neo learns about a new heist. And this is the guy that created the internet, when he was like, oh yeah, bro, there's numbers just floating in the air. All you got to do is just know how to grab it. I was like, okay, that's where the movie feels a little dated, in that scene, because he was like, yeah, man, this new thing, the internet. And I'm like, okay, did this guy invent this? He's just grabbing these numbers randomly.
Yeah, man. There are definitely times where you can tell, like even the diner scene, where what, even though she's in her 30s, like what young woman is going to a diner at night by herself to like meet men? I know she wasn't there for that, but like,
yeah,
it felt like a different time. Like no girl that I know, we're like mid to late 20s now. No girl that I know is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go out to a restaurant by myself at night and like try and meet people.
Yep, definitely not by herself. She would be with friends, and then her friends would have saw Neo and been like, no, don't talk to that guy. would have turned him away. Would have turned him away real quick. Even though this is a heist movie, it's really about like these people's relationships with their like significant others, and like their relationships with each other, which is very interesting at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So the next thing I got
is
with y'all, if y'all have anything, y'all
who's the rapper that's one of the characters?
Tone Low. That's the dude he told give me all you got to. And funny enough, Tone Low performed in Lafayette in my boss at my job. So I'm pretty sure I inspired him with this. One day we were talking about the Jazz's coach, Quinn Snyder. And I was like, Quinn Snyder looks like Van Zandt on fucking Heat. Or he looks like an older Van Zandt in The Dark Knight when he's all fucking looking crazy after Heath Ledger makes the robbery. And he was like, I don't know, he kind of looks like Waingro. And I was like, doesn't look like Waingro? What? And then after that, he starts a segment on Friday called Give Me All You Got. And Tone Low performed for a event that my company put on in Lafayette. So he actually got to meet him and tell him about Give Me All You Got. So shout out to you, Tone Low, if you're listening to this, brother. fucking Tone Low.
Shout out to Tone Low.
So the next thing I got is that okay, so Neil learns about the new. Okay, so we did that. Neil has to talk to Chris, his wife, for him. We see who Chris's wife is cheating on him with. Neil's a good friend, but like, man, feel bad for Ashley Judd. Like, good guy Neil, saving her everything. Hank Azaria. Are we sure Hank Azaria would have pulled Ashley Judd? Are we sure that's already sure for me?
Well, I think that it was, a bribe. Like, it was like, oh yeah, girl, I'll help you with this financial shit if you
give me some sexual favor.
Right.
Okay.
Move her hand down.
Yeah, help her out this situation. Like, she's with bad man Chris, who's like this hot bad boy. Let me go with nerdy looking Hank Azaria, who can give me some money. Okay, fair enough.
And get me out of LA.
Yeah, get her and her kid out of LA. But if you're Neil, are you paying for Ashley Judd shit?
I don't know how much money he's got,
like that's kind of wild. Just putting on another family, like that's he must have a lot of.
Well,
money.
I mean, I feel like all he was gonna do is gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna give you 50 grand and a plane ticket. Get the fuck out of here.
He think 50 grand and a plane ticket. He said, I will set you up. That's not setting somebody up, giving them 50 grand.
Yo, in 1995, 50 grand and a plane ticket set you up for a lot.
You better at least give me a apartment and then the 50 grand. I need housing. You got the 50 grand got to be for after I'm living where I'm living at. Fuck that.
That's a year's salary. She can get a nice apartment. And like, Des Moines.
And that money will be gone in a year. That's not setting somebody up.
You just got to get a job. You could live off.
She moves to Des Moines or Omaha or
You want me to move to Des Moines?
Yeah, and then she can be like whatever she wants to be. She makes some money. Yeah. She already got like a.
Listen, you went to LA. You didn't make it here. Now go back to small town America and figure it the fuck out.
Joplin, Missouri.
Does she have
Billings, Montana is calling your name?
So does she have the pull to be like, yeah, no, I want a lot more money than this, or I'm telling the cops? Does Neil just shoot her at that point?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would. I don't need this shit from you.
That's what I was thinking. Like he could, she has to accept whatever he says because he could definitely kill her. But on the flip, would he kill her because that's his man's wife and he knows his man would be sick. So she has some wiggle room there. I think she could get more than 50 grand. I at least need at least 100 grand. And I'm out your head. You never hear from me again. I need 100 grand in an apartment wherever I'm at.
See, you're thinking in 2022 inflation terms right now. That's what I'm saying. You could still live off of minimum wage jobs in 95.
Fair. That's fair. Okay. So 50K. All right. Y'all let us know in the comments if is 50K enough in 1995. Because I am kind of thinking in 2022 inflation terms. Like it's just going. It's over.
To be honest, like 50 grand is kind of not enough.
Thank you, Schubert. 50 grand kind of sucks.
But like,
well, what kind to be honest, but he probably would have.
He probably would have given her like 100, like 200.
That's
200
what
grand.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. 100.
I'm saying like it didn't have to be too much. Is what I'm saying. Like let's say his cut was like $7 million. I mean, he didn't have to give her $1 million. I mean, he no. Give her 250 grand, and she'd be set for like 3 years.
I'm saying 100 grand in an apartment. That's all I'm saying. Just pay for her apartment and 100 grand, and that's it. You good? Set you
guys
up.
Are so.
Well, where's that apartment though? Because I mean, if we're if she's going to San Diego, that shit's gonna be like 20 grand.
Nah, I'm send her to the south. Like even if you're in a big city in the south, it's still cheaper than
send her to Lafayette.
No, fuck no. Send her to like fucking Austin, Texas, back in '95. Shit would be cheap.
She's going to Biloxi.
She's going to Biloxi.
Good Biloxi.
Talk about nasty. Going to fucking Biloxi. Yikes. Oh shit. Okay, so the next thing I got written is deal with Van.
Money as a casino worker there.
True. She could do that, and she's pretty enough too. The way they hire. Deal with Van Zant goes bad. Van Zant thought he could get Neil, and we got shooters on the roof. Wow, get your ass out of here, Van Zant. You're fucking weak ass hitmen. We're talking about weak ass hitmen, bro. Just getting murked in that damn truck.
Yeah, it was not a
like, that was a really terrible attempt.
Super bad. It just shows that he shouldn't be doing this. It shows that Van Zandt is over his head. Okay.
I also just think it's hilarious, like how all the parallels that he takes with Dark Knight that Nolan did get the actor who played Van Zandt being. Like, that's when I rewatched this, I was like, I totally forgot about that.
Nolan
I wish I would have mentioned it when we were talking about Dark Knight.
I just thought of the robbery scene, but you're absolutely right. Nolan is in love with fucking this movie. You can tell, just like the way he did some of the things in Dark Knight. Like you said, just bringing Van Zandt back.
The truck scene in Dark Knight where he's driving the 18-wheeler reminds me a lot of when Trejo's driving the truck and hits the security.
Yep. And think about hitting the security Brinks trunk. That's just basically using the bus to fucking back up in there and then getting the bus and then taking it into traffic like they did with an ambulance. He just switched it from an ambulance to a bus to easily escape. So you can see Nolan's influence all throughout this movie. But the next thing I got is the crew eats as a family, and Pacino and his crew are watching, and we just see how like Tom Sizemore, good dad. It's like okay, dude's a good dad, but then he holds up that girl as a child shield later. It's like, damn, these dudes are still shitty people.
Yeah, it's not his daughter. Scene where they're all having dinner together.
Yeah,
that's his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I'm talking about later in the movie. It just shows like you think Tom Sizemore is a good dad, but then later in the movie he picks up a random little girl and uses her as a ballistic shield.
That's what I was saying. That's not his daughter.
That's not his daughter at all.
No,
it's a random girl.
You got to do what you got to do at that point. You got to find me a meat shield.
We'll get to that.
Just get behind the unlocked door.
Oh, you lost your mommy? Come with me. I got a perfect job for you. Take these bullets.
We then see Pacino's toxic relationship grow and grow. It's just getting worse and worse. Like Schubert said, you knew what you were doing. Like, why are you just in here like, you don't tell me about your job? And he's like, oh, so you want to know about the crackhead the meth head who burned his baby? Yeah, let's talk about the meth head who just burned his baby alive. I didn't think that was great to bring into conversation, lady. I was like, he does make a good point. Like, I don't know if you want to know that.
Isn't it this after he comes off that crime scene that Wayne Grove murdered that chick?
I think so. Yeah, okay, so that's the next thing I wrote is after Wayne Grove kills the hooker. So yeah, I should have said Wayne Grove kills the hooker then that. But yeah, it's after, and he has to console that black woman. He's like,
which I feel like is the only scene that makes Wayne Grove interesting.
I just was like,
yeah.
So Wayne Grove's a serial killer? Like when the woman's like, yeah, we'll see this DNA. He's done this before. It's like, damn, y'all really in the seedy underbelly of LA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if this was a series, like Wayne Grove has his own episode about how he murders everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. If you're gonna build that character to where you get to where the Vincent fight matters, I mean the Neil fight with him matters at the end, it would definitely be on TV where they would show like Wayne Grove the whole time is like killing people on the low.
Yeah, man, I can't believe in like a 2-hour and 50-minute movie that there's still something like this that I wish they would have fleshed out more. Like, you can't go from having this guy basically be a background character to like, oh, now he's killing hookers. Like, what?
Just random. Just so random.
How did we get here? Give me like 1 or 2 more hookers throughout this movie.
And that makes it to where, okay, he's a villain. I'm rooting for Neil to kill him when he does. So it's like,
yeah, I would have been way more interested in him as a character.
No, I agree with everything y'all said.
Also when Pacino's at this murder scene for this hooker, why like that woman who comes under the tape, like her mom or whatever, there's no way that she would just be letting Pacino hug her like that. Like if I was a mom and my daughter had just been killed, I would not be letting some random white dude like embrace me like that. Like he kept, like she would try and break away, and then he would like reel her back in. Yeah, no, come here, no, it'll be okay. Oh my god, like what kind of relationship do you have with this woman to where she's just letting you hug her like this?
More reason,
like, get the fuck off me, guy.
Like, more reason to believe. My daughter. More reason to believe that his ass is on coke this entire fucking movie. Like, just coked out Vince, like, come here, baby, come here. You don't need to see this.
No.
Oh shit, that was funny when that happened.
I was like, okay, like that. Do they have a history to get? Like, do they know each other? Like, why is this so?
Pacino's a passionate man.
He's a man of the people, except for his wives.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about his wives.
Fuck them hoes.
All right, we're moving on.
Next thing I wrote down is what I talked about is why Pacino and his wife doesn't share. But then the real next thing is Neil and Edie talk about leaving. Neil, man, building this facade with this girl that you just met. You know you got to be able to drop the heat. What you doing? You got another robbery. It's just like, and Edie, you don't know shit about this man. Like, you don't know damn thing.
Like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're going to New Zealand. It's like, what the fuck's going on in New Zealand that we need to go there for? Like, they don't have graphic design studios anywhere. Like, Canada's not going to work for this.
Nah, they got to try to escape the heat. They know Pacino's not going to New Zealand. He could maybe get to Canada.
Hey, yeah. Why not New Zealand?
It'd be beautiful, good for, I mean,
but I'm saying,
yeah.
like, I'm Edie. I slept with this guy once at this point,
and now we're talking about moving together.
Yeah, now
that was her
New
deal.
Zealand?
She approached that point. She was like, this is crazy. Like, I can't do this. Like, I don't really know you. Like, why I can't pick up everything and leave. And then what does she do?
30 seconds later,
she decides
pick up everything.
30 seconds later. That's the theme of this podcast when we talk about Edie. Ian, hold on to that point, because literally every decision, it's like, oh, well, 30 seconds later, never mind.
And look, it goes back to the first thing Neil says, like, can you, if the heat's on your back, can you drop everything within 30 seconds and just go behind the corner and leave?
She just drops all of her logic in 30 seconds. It's like absolutely no explanation as to why we're going to New Zealand or what you're going to be doing while we're there.
Yeah,
or how you came to this plan.
How you got all this money?
Want me to go with you? Yeah,
like I know my girlfriend, if I'm just spending absorbent amount of money, is going to ask, how did you get this money? Like, some of this shit is just like crazy. Like, I know women want to know. There's no way Edie's hasn't asked him what you do, and you just believe this man. Oh yeah, I work in metals. Well, nigga, what you do in metals? Like,
he's a salesman. He said.
What's
it? Like, what kind of transactions are you doing here?
Yeah. Show me. Chris would ask to see the fucking books. Like, show me the fucking books. What are you talking about?
Let me see some W-2s here. I want to know what you cleared last year after taxes, motherfucker. Yeah. You got a 1099 or something I can take a look at?
W-2, Edie, what are you talking about?
No, this is all cash dealings.
Yeah.
I have a ledger in my office.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Where's your office at? It's wherever I go. It's with me. We're just
downtown. Driving. It's downtown. Don't worry about it.
So next thing I wrote is we see the second robbery, and I love this because Pacino's like, oh yeah, I got him. And then all of a sudden, dumbass cop bumps his gun into the back. Was that loud enough for De Niro to hear?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I just had to make sure, because I was like,
he was maybe like 25, 30 yards away from these, what are they, trailers?
Yeah.
You hear metal on metal clanging at night, and
inside.
You're already on heightened alert. Like he was out there as the watchman. So if you're already looking and listening for shit, then you definitely hear that.
That was a smart move to walk away. I think in other movies we would have saw them continue the heist, and that would have like started cop versus robber runaways type shit. That'd have been a getaway scene in 2022, and if it was an action movie, like they'd have continued the robbery, and then it would have been like a car chase, and one of the like robbers dies at that moment.
One, it was lucky for them that De Niro was the point guy, because anybody else is going to be like, okay, maybe I heard something, maybe I didn't. Fuck it, let's just keep going.
Tom Sizemore and Chris are definitely saying, "Fuck it, we're almost out of here." So like, fuck no. Good, they were lucky it was De Niro, and Pacino's like, damn, okay, I got respect for this guy. Let him walk. Let him walk.
Well, and if I'm Pacino in that, I'm either beating the shit out of that cop that slammed his gun into the wall, or I'm having him demoted, or maybe both.
He definitely got him demoted for sure. Like 100%. That dude's not gonna be on missions much longer.
Like, I don't want to see your face in this department again. You're going to Fresno, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here.
You're going to a desk job, buddy. So
yeah, we're sending you to San Jose. Get out of here. You're no longer an LAPD officer.
The next thing I wrote down is then this is where I get one of my favorite things. I use this on my radio show. The conversation between all the robbers, and Neil's like, look, either we're doing the bank job or we're all leaving right now. Don't get your families. Take 30 seconds. Y'all do what y'all want. Y'all not gonna know me in 30 seconds. And they were basically like, Chris is like, nah, man, I need this. I need this money. And I know De Niro's thinking like, nigga, you didn't save. Like, you didn't save. And then he looks at Tom Sizemore. It's like, Tom, you got a good family, brother. Go take care of your family. And he's like, for me,
what is he, Denzel?
The action is the juice. And I'm like, let's go. I love that. I use that in my radio show. That quote is amazing from Tom Sizemore. The action is the juice. Got it. Let's go. We're doing the robbery. And then he looks at Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo's like, I'm in. Like, Danny Trejo didn't even consider it like the others did. Like, I'm in here, baby.
Do you know what Danny Trejo's character's name was?
What?
Trejo.
Yeah. Yeah, it was purely, they didn't even tell you a first name. It was just Trejo.
I think that's his first role, like, ever.
No, it's not.
I think so. Like,
can't be
his first major role in like a movie. Look that up.
No, I mean, I think like in '91 he was doing like those Robert Rodriguez movies.
Nah, but I thought that was after this, huh? Like Desperado and all that shit.
Yeah, but I think he was doing the Spanish language ones.
Oh, because I'm about to say all those Robert Rodriguez films like that are after this.
Bro, this dude's career started in 1983. But
this is his first major movie though, huh? Gotta be for them to name him Trejo. Like
he was
Desperado was the same year.
Spy Kids came
out.
Oh,
okay, so Desperado was the same year. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Breakout. So I get
this. Is there any movie where Danny Trejo looks under the age of 45? Because he always looks old to me.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe in Baywatch.
He was in Baywatch? Real? Didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, he played a character named Chulo and a character named Carlos Ureta.
That's racist as fuck. They made him named Chulo? Come on, man.
That was his nickname.
Baywatch.
Because the character's name was Carlos.
Nah, if you saw what Baywatch did to Pam Anderson, I'm not shocked they did that.
That's fair.
CHULO, because like in a show called Reasonable Doubts, he plays Cholo number 2. That's a little bit more racy.
Jeez.
He's not even number 1.
Look at what he has us talking about. Like, look at this. All right. The next thing I wrote down is, all right, they talk about the action is the juice. Okay. And they want the bank. Pacino then meets with Chris's wife's lover and gives the most beautiful phrase. He's like, Hank Azaria's like, man, I'm just trying to get out of here. I don't want nothing to do with this. He's like, oh, you're in it. You're in it. You saw that great ass and you got your head all the way up in it.
Yeah, when he first said she's got a great ass, I was like, where are you going with this?
Pacino's on tilt.
He's got a great ass.
This whole movie.
And you got your nose right up in it.
You got your head all the way up in it.
And then he keeps going with it. He's like, when I think about ass, a woman's ass. Like, oh my God, man.
He's like,
you gotta relax.
My favorite thing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I can just see him in the back, like the scene we didn't see. He's getting ready to talk to Hank Azaria. He goes to the bathroom, snorts his line of coke. He's like, all right, let's go. It's go time. I'm ready.
It's like walking down the hallway to the interrogation room. He's like, how am I going to get this guy? I know. I'll talk about her ass.
And then the next thing I wrote is Neil pulls a fast one on the cops. The cops think they're looking at Neil, and Neil has them. That's a badass scene. Like when the cops are going into that shipyard, and then Vincent figures out like, oh, they're looking at us. It's like, that was shocking. I was like, okay, this is good filmmaking. That was a great scene. Out of all the scenes, in this movie. That's one of the better ones. Next thing I wrote is, let's see, Neil and Pacino go and drink coffee where they discuss how this goes down. Great scene about just how they're, I'm not gonna be afraid to put you. He's like, Pacino's like, I'm not gonna be afraid to put you down if I have to. And Neil's like, put me down. I'm putting you down, brother. I'm just talking to you for this one time. Next time you see me, it's guns ablaze.
So we're at the coffee thing. I think it's really interesting that the first time Pacino and De Niro have a conversation, and I don't remember all the research, but this might be the first time that they've talked in a movie.
Yeah, it was
each other.
Because in Godfather 2, they never met. Because he was his dad.
Pacino is asking De Niro to go to coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Cute. How cute.
Great scene.
But I mean that scene is the scene in the diner is the iconic scene of this movie, more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that people were waiting for forever. They interacted. It was a great interaction too, and I love how Michael Mann made it to where it's like, okay, both of these guys are legendary actors, and I'm gonna make it to where neither one of them is gonna cave to the other one, and this is gonna end only one way.
The interesting thing, when it comes to background, because you talked about how this is based off a true story about a Chicago cop or whatever, a lot of the dialogue used in that scene was real dialogue
I didn't know
from that occurrence, and it wasn't a diner that they talked in; it was a laundromat. But when De Niro says it's almost word for word quote when he's like, well, on the other side of the coin, if whatever Pacino said, I'm not gonna hesitate to kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put your ass down. Crazy, I didn't know that. Down. That's good. Good job, Shuby. I didn't know that was real. That's like our show that we're loving right now. We Own the City. How all that dialogue is from fucking wiretaps and shit. I did not know
transcripts.
That. Yeah, wire transcripts. That shit's crazy. But okay, hell yeah, go ahead, Michael Mann. That's dope. And then the next thing I wrote is they do the bank heist, shootout in the town. This shootout is great because they actually did that. None of that is like sound put in. All of that was real guns, obviously with blanks, and all of them learned how to shoot a gun, and they took training for months. Michael Mann wanted to make this scene realistic as possible. And that's why when you see other shootouts, the gun holding, gun placement might not be as accurate. But this one, he made sure to a T. He got cops to train him. He got Marines to train him. They trained for months for this scene, and it paid off because the shootout scene with the bank robbery is it's insane. It is incredible.
It just kept going. I was like, how long are we going to have this chase going?
And LA doesn't let people do this anymore because of this movie. LA was like, this was too big of a thing, and they don't hold shootouts in the middle of the city anymore. You have to do it on lots and shit.
Now they just have shootouts in the middle of the city.
Yeah. It's an evil world we
That's
live in.
A different movie.
Well, that's interesting that you do say that though, because there's an entire scene of Barry where he goes out on the interstate, and they're just like, machine guns at
it can't be in the city. It cannot after this movie.
Okay.
It cannot. So that's very, very good thing. And then what we talked about the whole time, Tom Sizemore picking up that girl, using her as a meat shield, but then ends up dying. Man didn't get home to see his kids.
Well, she's not a very large shield. You picked the wrong girl. This is just a bad selection on your part. See all these people running, you go for the smallest meat shield available. It's like, what do you want, guy?
Well, I mean, he's like, yeah, they're not going to shoot because I'm holding a kid, which, is actually pretty sound logic, but Pacino is just a crazy person. And it's like, I'm going to take the shot anyway.
I'm shooting. Dude's on coke. I'm telling y'all, everything he does makes sense when you look through it in the lens of, oh, this dude's fucked up on blow the whole time. He's like, oh, I got this. Bow.
And he did.
And he got it. Bro, if in real life, if a cop would have did that, everybody would be like, what if you would have hit her?
Yeah, he'd have been fired immediately.
It'd have been bad.
Or at least a leave of absence.
Yeah. Suspended without pay. Go sit your
ass
ass at home.
Cool off for a while, yeah.
We'd be doing 3 weeks of court coverage on MSNBC.
Do we get the cam released? Can we get the body footage of you taking that shot?
Get that cam
Yeah.
footage. Can we back that cam footage up to when you were in the bathroom shooting, snorting lime?
Yeah, right before you see the shot taken, you hear.
You hear it, the camera cuts out. We lost the body cam footage. Twitter's ablaze. We heard the snort. We heard the snort.
The snort heard
Hashtag
around
we
the
heard
world.
the snort.
Hashtag we heard the snort. The snort heard around the world. Oh, shit. Oh, the next thing I wrote is Neil goes to settle all scores before he leaves. He meets up. We didn't talk about much about John Voight's character. And he's a pretty major part of this. He's like the middleman for all of this. And he goes meet with John Voight and basically he's like, yo, give me Wayne Grow, give me Van Zandt, give me all of them. I'm going to kill them all before I dip out of here. Was that smart? He should have just left. Like, why you got to go kill all these people?
I think he thought he was tying up loose ends.
Okay. I get going to
Either
Van
that
Zandt
or
getting
he's
your
just
money.
pissed.
I understand why he went to Van Zandt, but I think Wayne Grow was stupid. That was stupid.
You mentioned John Voight's character. He's actually based on a real criminal turned actor. The actor Eddie Bunker, who plays Mr. Blue in Reservoir Dogs. Bunker
shit.
served as a consultant on Heat, and the character of Nate is based on Bunker.
Oh shit, that's badass. Mr. Blue, okay. Even though he's not much in fucking Reservoir Dogs, but I know exactly who you're talking about. The old man who's sitting there with the fucking he looks just like
Right.
John Voight in this movie. He really does. Crazy. Okay. But yeah, like Neil should have got his money from Van Zandt. If you're gonna kill him, then take you and your girl and leave. Don't go see Wayne Grow. And fucking John Voight's character was like, Are you sure? Are you sure? He's like, yeah, it's only gonna take me like 10 minutes. But lo and behold, cops are sitting there waiting on his ass. Dummy. But then before all of that, before we get to that part, we got to talk about Chris's wife, Ashley Judd, having his back. My man drives up. I was like, ride or die. He drives up, new haircut, looks. His wife's like, nah, wrong guy. Drives away. He knew what time it was. Shout out to you, Ashley Judd, holding it down for your man. Would you have lied for your significant other in that situation?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, she's already in that deep.
Might as well. Like, I mean, does she go to jail? Like, she will if they catch him. But like,
she got away with it.
Yeah, she did. She did. So it just depends on if they catch him and he's like, yeah, she didn't tell. But like, why would he do that? So, but good on Ashley Judd saving Chris's life, and he escapes and does all that. All right, next thing is just Pacino finds his daughter OD'd, and we see him carrying her in the hospital. The wife's all tripping out, and it's like, that's your pills, bitch.
This was before. That was after when he went back to the house, and we had the scene where it's like, you can fuck my wife, but you cannot watch my television.
Wait, we skipped over Trejo dying.
I did skip over Trejo. I didn't write that down.
We skipped over a lot.
I was just like, Trejo died. He's out of here.
That was pretty powerful shit. Like, he goes up in there because first watch. I'm sure Ian, when you were first watching, you were like, oh, Trejo was the
snitch.
Yeah, he was the rat.
He was the snitch. And so like you're like, oh, Trejo, how could you have done that? And then he goes there and you see like his wife like strewn over, like raped, dead, because of homeboy.
Because of Wayne Grow.
And then you see like Trejo sitting there and you think he's dead. And he goes up there and he's talking. And then like, I thought that was really good acting by Trejo to be like, just put me out of my misery. Like, I gotta die. Like, and then shoots him. Like, I thought that scene was pretty big time.
And it's important for the storyline too, because he tells him that Wayne Grow and Van Zandt are involved, and that's why
true.
That's why De Niro goes and kills Van Zandt.
Yeah, that is why he goes ties up all the loose ends. Okay, fair enough. Trejo, that is a good scene, but he wasn't a snitch. I got to give it to him. He didn't snitch out.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yeah, so shout out to Danny Trejo. So Pacino finds his wife OD'd. Oh, and then I wrote the end of Neil couldn't let Wayne Grow go. He goes, kills him. He then has to try to escape. He looks at Ashley Judd. I mean, not Ashley Judd. He looks at Edie, looks at her, turns around, starts running, leaves her ass. Dips out. Why did he think he could run into like where the planes are and like that Al Pacino wouldn't find him there? Did he just hope that he would kill him and then he would just get on a plane and leave?
My thing was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, my thought process on that scene is that he looks at Edie and then he looks and he sees Pacino, and he's almost got this like chip to where he's like, you know what, I can tie up one more loose end. Let me lure this dude in and kill him, and then I'm gone for good. So like he sees Pacino and he's like, I'm gonna finish this out the right way in his mind.
And then that's how we escape. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, it is the 90s. Okay, it does make okay. If you lure him to the airport field, you kill him. The cops are definitely going to that airport field because their lieutenant is dead. They're not worried about you. You can get on a plane and leave. It is the 90s. Okay, that does make sense. In 2022, let me let y'all know. If y'all try to do that shit, you're going to jail. You're not getting on a plane. You're not getting away. Like, fuck no. You might get to like San Diego before they get you, but that's it. Like, fuck no. Oh, man. Are we happy with Pacino beating Neil in this situation? Pacino beating De Niro and end up killing him, and then that's how the movie goes? Or would we have wanted to see Neil kill Pacino? I think it ended the right way. Like, I don't think that's
the beauty of the movie.
Yeah.
The beauty of the movie is that it's two characters that you could go either way on who you're rooting for.
True.
The Pacino character has some redeeming qualities and he is the good guy.
But he also has his flaws.
And he has his flaws. And then De Niro is the robber, but he also has a lot of
honorable qualities
points that, like, people are like, oh, well, I don't want him to like get caught, or I don't want him to die. But what I really like about that scene is how much it reminds me of Westerns.
Yeah, Standoff. It does. Like this great duel between these two gunmen who've been at it for a while, and it's like it's gonna end one way or another. Either you go or I go. Yeah, no, I dug that. Shout out to Michael Mann for that scene. That was a great
shadows. What are De Niro's honorable redeeming qualities? Like, he's a piece of shit this whole time.
He's about
robber.
His crew.
He's about his family, loyalty.
Some of the scenes with Edie are supposed to make him seem like he's like a redeemable person.
Him taking care of Ashley Judd. Good guy.
Okay, so he did one nice thing for Ashley Judd. And then he lies to Edie the entire movie about what his intentions are. And he's killing people.
But wait, is he lying to her?
Entire movie.
I'm gonna push back on that. He's lying to her about what he does, but is he lying to her about what he wants?
If you get into a relationship under false pretenses, then the whole thing is a lie.
All right, fair enough. That is true. You can't tell.
And when faced with the choice, he leaves her.
But does he leave her because for selfish reasons, or does he leave her to protect her?
I don't think it makes a difference to her.
Fair. Yeah, because she don't know.
He left for selfish reasons.
Yeah, she never understands. Because the whole time, like, does he ever tell her, like, yeah, I'm a scumbag robber? No.
I mean, if he gave a shit about her, he wouldn't have gone to kill Waingrove. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that he was always going to have to kill Waingrove because of what happened to his crew.
And who he
of the loyalties that he
and who he is
to the crew.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ian. We don't have to say he's a good guy, but we do like to pull for him sometimes because it's Robert.
No, De Niro. I never wanted him to win. I was like, fuck this guy. This guy sucks.
Shout out to Neil McCauley.
I'm not really too big on Al Pacino's character either, because he's also kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, he's for sure big time piece of shit.
You guys had 3 wives, clearly doing some kind of drugs on the job.
And only person he cares about is Natalie Portman's character. That's it. That is it.
Yeah, which I mean,
because someone has to.
Also, like how did she?
The mom doesn't.
Well, yeah, because she's too busy popping pills and cheating on her husband.
Yeah, the mom's down bad.
How did Natalie Portman get into his hotel room?
Oh yeah, how did she? I don't know.
Like when I saw that, I was like, why is she there?
Yeah, I think he might have given. Okay. Yeah, he might have. Yeah,
that might have been with that scene where like he pulled up on her when she was just sitting in the street.
Yeah, and he was like, if you need something, like, here's the key.
I think that might have been it. I don't remember.
I'm not too sure.
Well, I thought he said he was going to take her home.
Yeah.
Because like she was sitting
Yeah.
there and he was like, did you forget your mom was coming to pick you up today? And she was like, no, I just wanted to be alone. And he's like, all right, we'll hop in. We'll take you home. And then you don't see her again until she's in the bath.
She might have stole it then at that point.
That's why you just eliminate that whole subplot from this movie, and it,
it's a
take
bit
some time off.
But then that's the one redeeming Pacino quality out the window.
And that's why I think
that's the only reason it's there.
That's to make it to where it's like, okay, he's a little bit better than Vincent. I mean, he's a little bit better than Neil because he is Vincent. Yeah, no, but like, I don't really need it. So either way, I'm okay if it's there. I'm okay if it's not. Like, I just know her mom's a piece of shit. Like, a lot of these people are just pieces of shit. Feel so bad for real shit. We didn't even talk about this, but I feel bad for the Allstate man. Dude was trying to clean up his life.
All right. Yeah.
My man was trying to clean up his life. Neil was like, you got 15 seconds, yes or no? He was like, fuck this. They're not paying me enough. Minimum wage. They doing people dirty, forcing them to crime.
Well, they're doing him extra dirty because he was on parole.
Yeah, my man had no choice.
He was not in good hands with Macaulay.
No, he was not. Instantly dead. He first man to die. Crazy. Get the black guy out of here. Poor man. All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much everything. All right, let's get to some of the other things. Let's do 6-man first. Let's do that. Let's get 6-man out the way. So who are the starters? Obviously De Niro. God. Obviously Pacino. Obviously Val Kilmer. Are we saying Sizemore's a starter?
Probably Ashley Judd.
All right, yeah, we could do Ashley Judd.
So you're saying Van Zandt?
No. I'm not saying Van Zandt's a starter. No. I'm asking is the other man on the team who held the girl as a shield.
Oh, Sizemore.
Is Sizemore
probably
starter?
Not.
Okay.
I would probably say that it'd be either Edie or John Voight's character.
Ooh, okay.
John Voight's not really in it too much.
I'd say
like
Edie.
He's got what,
but his role is essential.
His role is
fair.
Are we saying Edie? I'm okay with saying Edie or Voight, whichever one y'all want. I'm okay with it.
Well, if it's not, if Edie's the fifth person, then mine's John Voight. That's my 6-man.
That's where I was kind of going with it.
But I don't understand why we're saying that Ashley Judd is one of the main characters.
Because she has a pretty prominent.
Yeah,
she's Val Kilmer's wife. She's
in it more than anybody else. The whole Hank Azaria storyline, like they don't figure out. They can't get up on the wiretaps as well without Hank Azaria doing that whole snitching shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So like that whole part like happens because of her.
Okay, so who do we got? We got Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, John Voight, and Ashley Judd.
I think we were saying Edie over John Voight.
I'm fine with that. I would actually prefer that.
Okay, yeah. So Edie's the starter. 6-man for me. I'm with you, it's John Voight. It's 100% John Voight.
I mean, if it's not him, it's Danny Trejo. For
me. Okay.
No, it's Pacino's wife. If it's not John Voight.
You give it 6-man to Pacino's wife?
No, I'm saying it's John Voight as well. But I'm saying if it's not John Voight, then it's got to be
Pacino's wife.
What's that line that she says where she's stoned?
Yeah, she's smoking weed with a cop. I forgot about that. I was like, how problematic in the 90s? Like, that's another reason why Pacino's doing drugs. Like, he's just okay.
She says like some like weird 90s weed term. Like, she's like, if I wasn't like high on herb or something, like she says something like weird, like just like not normal. Just like be like, yeah, I'm stoned.
Who would I choose if it's not John Voight? I'm not choosing Sizemore.
Grass. I think she's Grass.
Oh, I'm choosing Waingro. If it's not John Voight, I'm choosing Waingro. Yeah, she does say Grass. Waingro got to be up there because it's not Van Zandt. Van Zandt was just side man, super side man, down on the bench. Definitely saying Waingro. Okay, so we're all going John Voight, 6-man, but we got our backups. Ian's backup is the wife. Schubert's backup is Danny Trejo. My backup is Waingro. Nice. Okay, who won the movie? This is a hard one. Did anybody win? Is this our first? Did anybody win? Nah, Chris won. Chris got away. Chris won. What are we talking about? He escaped. No problem.
But did he get anything in return? Like he can be with his wife.
His
for
boys
now.
Did he
Neil's
get any
dead.
money?
I don't think he got any money.
Yeah,
He got shot.
He don't have nothing saved. Yeah, fair. I mean, I'm sure
I don't
once he
know.
finds out about Neil dying, I'm sure he can go get Neil's money. I'm sure he knows where that's at. Or does he?
Maybe.
Maybe that's me
If
being
I was
optimistic.
Neil, I'm not telling you motherfuckers where I keep my money.
True. It's not in the bank, so we know that. So we know it's out there. Chris can find it if he thinks of his friend. That's why. Who else won in this movie? No one else won. I gotta give it to Chris.
I don't know if
Yeah.
surviving is the same thing as winning.
Fair. Does Al Pacino win since he got the he killed the man?
I mean, I would
He
assume
just
at
has
this
so many
point,
L's.
Like yeah, he got his daughter when he leaves. His daughter might be dead. Like
that's true. Yeah, we don't ever really know. They just say she's in recovery and she's stable.
that's
But
it.
that doesn't always mean she survives. That just means for now she's like not dying.
Exactly. So,
But I mean, with a suicide attempt like that, like once they close the wounds and they get you stabilized, you're generally good to go. Like
okay,
unless she tries to commit suicide again at the hospital, she's not going to die.
okay. So his
So
daughter survives.
theoretically, his daughter survives. Theoretically, he's now patched things up with his wife.
and
because-
he killed Neil. Okay, so yeah, maybe Al Pacino did win. All right,
I would say if anybody, it's him.
fair.
Like
Okay.
Chris escaping, he's just kind of fucked at that point because like his whole crew is dead.
And now he's
Like,
on the
what is he
run.
going to do now? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That I'll concede that one. You're right on that one, Ian. Al Pacino definitely won the movie. Schubert, you got anybody else?
It's not a good win though. You're not bragging
No.
about that one.
No, this is
At the
this is
water
like
cooler.
this is a close game. Like you barely won at the buzzer. Like
It's one of those games you try and forget as the season goes on.
ugly performance by both teams. Ugly performance. Who lost the movie?
Oh,
The biggest loser.
definitely Edie. She just gets hoodwinked the entire movie.
Right.
You got Edie as the
Although-
biggest loser?
Although she definitely contributed to her own loss. Like,
Definitely.
if we're going back to this, like, how do you, like, every time she notices a red flag, she thinks about it for like 30 seconds and is like, oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. Cool. I'll go
Yeah.
along with it.
You right over the head. She's like, I'm too lonely. This guy gives
Like,
me
all De
attention.
Niro had to say was, I can't go anywhere without you. And then she was like, oh, man, the floodgates opened and she was like, all right, I'm in.
If that worked, there would be less single men in the world.
That's what I'm saying. I'd had a wife 5 years ago. I'd be on my third wife by now.
So Ian has
I'm
Edie as the
dedicated to
biggest
my
loser.
job.
Schubert, who's your biggest loser?
Biggest loser. Probably Natalie Portman. Because she didn't successfully kill herself, which is what she was trying to do.
Jeez.
My
She,
God.
well, I'm just
You're saying
just
it would have
like,
been
you know-
better if she had killed herself. That's what
No,
you're
I'm
saying?
saying like she tried to do something and it did not succeed at it. That is by definition taking an L.
That is
Her mom barely loves her. Her
barely.
dad doesn't love her.
All she got is Al Pacino, and that's
all
a
she's
bad
got is Al
person to have.
Pacino, which is not a bad person to have, and or not a good person to have. And
Kind of in the
yeah,
middle.
now she's like fighting for her life,
Ooh,
and everyone's gonna know that.
Yeah, but she did it to
tried to
herself.
commit suicide.
Exactly. L. Is that an L?
It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
L.
Well,
Like,
you
yeah,
definitely can't go back to high school.
No. Yes.
Exactly.
You
Schools at
gotta
that
be
point.
gotta be homeschooled there. Like Ian said, change schools. Damn, y'all got me putting up perplexed. Fuck. I can't give it to one of the people who just got killed. Like Sizemore just died. Oh, could Trejo be considered for the loss? Wife got raped.
yeah.
All
But
right.
he's
Yeah.
dead. So
He got killed. All right. Yeah, I'm going Trejo.
And it doesn't seem like he was lying when he said he had the cops on him and he couldn't be there for the heist.
Yep. I got Trejo then. Yeah, I'm with. That's where I'm going. His wife got raped. He got killed by Neil and got abused by Wayne Grove. Fuck yeah. That's where I'm going. That's a loss. But I love both y'all's answers. Both of y'all had very creative answers. I just didn't want to take them. Like, oh my gosh. She would have gave an L to Natalie Portman. Like,
She's
Well, I
like the
mean,
most
you know, it's just
minor
one of those
character
things,
in
like,
this
you know,
movie.
He
but I
said by
mean,
definition.
they decided to give her, you know, a storyline. You know, they decided to cast her and give her a storyline.
Schubert's over there. It's not my fault she sucks.
By definition,
It's
she
the-
lost.
But by definition, she lost. She, you know,
She definitely didn't
nothing
win,
ever
that's
went
for
her
sure.
way, and nobody loves her.
Yeah, that's an L. That is an
It's
L.
an L.
Gotta give it to her. Okay, who was the best actor in this movie? Where you
Edie.
going? Edie.
No, I'm joking.
Some people could make an argument for Val Kilmer.
Eh,
I'm just saying, I've heard it. I've heard Val Kilmer.
I'm
What's
not
the
saying he's
question again?
bad.
Huh?
Who's the best
What's
actor?
the question again?
Best actor. Who's the best actor in this movie?
Oh, Danny Trejo.
You giving it to Trejo?
I mean, that scene, man. I'm unreal. And
I don't know who to give it to between Pacino
It's
and
not
De Niro.
Danny Trejo, that's for sure. Piece of shit.
I'm giving it to John Voight before I give it to Danny Trejo.
I'm giving it to
So
Dennis Haysbert
confidently,
before I
too.
give it to Danny Trejo.
Dennis Haysbert. Wait, can I take my loss back? Wait, I'm giving it to him.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm giving it to him. I'm giving it to Allstate Man, biggest loser.
Don Breeden.
Dude was changing his life, gets fucked on by his boss, was like, oh yeah, let me go to my old boss who was a criminal. He'll save my life. And then dies within like the first 15 minutes of the heist. Like, dude's out of here. Big L. And then his wife is looking at the TV like, he could.
Is that his wife or sister? Okay.
Whoever it is, wife, sister, whichever one. She looking at the TV screen. He couldn't stay straight. Fucked L. Dennis Haysbert. That's my loser. Best. Oh yeah. So best actor was Pacino or De Niro. Who y'all got? It's tough because like Pacino's animated. De Niro's a little more reserved. So it's like, but De Niro's doing a lot of good shit. So it's like, are you going with the animated Pacino or are you going with the reserved De Niro? That's the question. Really.
I would say De Niro because it might be his best performance in any movie.
Ooh. Over Goodfellas?
It's definitely top 3 for him.
It is top 3. I agree with that.
Better than Goodfellas.
I don't know about that.
It's probably,
Yeah,
it's
I don't know
probably,
about
it's
that either.
probably this movie, Casino, and Taxi Driver. It's probably his top 3.
I don't know. I'm going Taxi Driver because when you said Taxi Driver, you're absolutely right. But you're forgetting you're forgetting fuck Casino. King of comedy, bro. Where he's Joker before Joker. Where he does that comedian thing.
See, I've never seen that movie.
Where he's Rupert Pumpkin. I'm gonna put that on the list for this show. That's an amazing movie. Like when you watch that movie, you might not like Joker anymore because it's a ripoff. It 100% is.
As long as we don't have to watch all 6 hours of The Irishman, I'll be okay.
Oh, never again. Never again.
We already did that.
We already reviewed that. Never again. Never again. Like some of the movies that we reviewed on Bros Who Binge will never come on this show. Ever.
Except this one.
Did we review that on Bros Who Binge? We did not review Heat on Bros Who Binge. We did?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought we just
It'll
talked
take
about
me too long to find it, but
maybe. We
I
might
think
have.
we did because we've talked about it before.
I know we did. It might have been like when we did like a top 10 list or something talking about it. Who knows?
No, I mean we talked about the Allstate Man and stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, so where y'all going? You went De Niro. Ian, who you going with? Pacino or De Niro?
I'm saying Pacino simply because when I think about this movie, I think about his lines first. Like I think about his character, his performance. It left a bigger impact on me than De Niro's did.
I think that's where I'm going as well. I think as much as I love De Niro, and I think De Niro might be a better actor than Pacino, I think Pacino in this, like Ian said, is just a more memorable role. Like everything that I quote from this movie is from Pacino. I don't quote a single Neil McCauley line, except maybe like if the heat's on and get out of there in 30 seconds or less. Like, I'm not saying that, but like, I'm out. If I see a man getting screwed by a girl with a big ass, she had a great ass, and you had your head all the way up in it. or give me all you got. Give me all you got. Love it. Love all that shit. So yeah, I'm going Pacino. Okay. I think that's all our categories. I think that's all our things. We had our always shirts. Of course, we got our best quotes. We said them the whole time. Yeah. So, best scene. What's the best scene in this movie? I think a 3. Which one you said? The cop shot, the shootout?
The coffee shop.
Oh, the coffee shop. Okay, nice. I knew you would say that one. Yeah, there's 3. The coffee shop's 1. I think the scene where Pacino figures out that Neil's spying on him is 1 from me, and then the shootout. But I don't know which one I'm gonna choose. Ian, where you going?
Oh, I thought you were gonna choose.
No, I know. I'm
No.
I was waiting on your choice.
I have no idea.
Man, the scene where they're at the like the dockyard is cool when they realize that he's looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the shootout though. The long drawn out bank heist.
The 3 we've said are probably the best ones.
I would go with
the final shootout.
But the closing sequence with the hotel is really good too.
Yeah, it is.
I would still go with the bank heist though.
So you're going bank heist? Okay. So then I'm going to pick different from both of you. I do think Schubert's scene of the coffee shop might be the best one, but I'm going to go the final hotel to Neil McCauley dying. Even though I do love the dock scene. I think the dock scene is incredible where when they figure out that, they're spying on him. I think that's beautiful by Neil putting that on Vincent. But I think the running out on Edie after killing Waingro and then running away from Pacino and then their final shootout, I'll put that one on there as the best scene. But it's either one of y'all two. The real answer is whichever one y'all decide between Ian's or Schubert's. That's the really real answer. I'm just picking something to be different. All right, let's get into the rating. The running back rating. I don't think this will be the running back king. I don't remember what I rated Usual Suspects. I think I had Usual Suspects at like 8-9. That seems about right. So if I had Usual Suspects at 8-9, I'm feeling 8-5 for this or 8-4. I'll go 8-4. 8-4. Yeah, I'll go 8-4. I think that's solid. Where are you going, Schubert and Ian?
8-2.
8-2, not bad. Not bad.
I'm saying 8.
Not bad at all. I thought you would have.
It's just too long.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like if this movie was 2 hours instead of 2 hours and 50 minutes, and we could cut out some of the unnecessary dialogue and just like even some of the scenes where they're not even talking, like we're just watching them do things in their house or whatever the hell we may be watching. Like there's just too much superfluous stuff in this movie. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, they do a good job of tying it all back together at the end, so it makes sense. But like I could have done without the scene where Allstate guy is talking to the woman at the the coffee shop or wherever the hell they're talking. I could have done without the prostitute killing from Waingro. Like there's a lot of stuff that you could have cut out and this movie still works.
I'm with you. The score ends up being 8.2. Thank God it's lower than Pulp Fiction. We're redoing Pulp Fiction after we get through this list of movies we got. I got to redo Pulp Fiction. It doesn't sit right with me. It hurts my fucking soul every time we do this.
I lose sleep at night.
Like out of all the movies, that's the one I think we got wrong. Like if you want my honest opinion, I think we've gotten pretty much every other one right. That's the one I'm like 8.4, not even 8.8. Like. We got to redo it, but we got a lot of movies to get to. And speaking of that, it's my favorite portion of the show where we spin the wheel of fate to find out what we're doing when I get back from LA. So let's see.
All right, while you're getting that all geared up, I have like some background stuff that you didn't get into that was kind of interesting.
Go ahead.
So like apparently the Marine Corps, they're fans of Heat. In fact, Marines have shown recruits shootout scenes from the movie as part of their training. It apparently is an accurate representation of both the right way to retreat under fire and the proper way to change a gun's magazine.
And that's because they got trained by like professionals and all that shit. Like Michael Mann really, really tried super hard to make that shootout as realistic as possible. And he got like police, he got army members, he got all kind of just different combat specialists to like work on that. So I believe that. Hell yeah.
You talked about in casting the roles that James Caan was going to be.
Wasn't he going to be Neil?
Nate.
Nate. Oh, he was gonna be John Voight's role.
Right.
That makes sense.
And Keanu, you talked about Keanu?
Oh, wasn't Keanu supposed to be Chris?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't, because Val Kilmer definitely was a lot better than what I think young Keanu could have did.
In the script, Edie was supposed to be Chinese.
Oh. Okay. Adds a little flavor. I would have liked that. I don't know if that makes it problematic. I don't think so.
I don't think it makes it problematic.
No,
I think it would have made more sense if like there would have been some kind of Asian tie, and then like maybe like she was Vietnamese or something, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, we got to go to Vietnam.
Yeah, it makes more sense than New Zealand. Like it's just an art studio.
New Zealand's so random.
It's super random. You got anything else before I spin this wheel?
Just the sheer amount of like names that you recognize that are in this film that you don't really remember. From Natalie Portman being who she was, to having Hank Azaria, Jeremy Piven.
Piven was in this movie. Random Piven role. Oh shit!
So it's just a crazy movie to think about, like all the different people who starred in it.
Hell yeah! All right, spinning the wheel. Let's see what gets chosen. See, it's another Linden movie. Oh no! I think this is a Schubert movie. I do. Who had Whiplash? It's a Schubert movie.
Me.
Whiplash is next. All right, a different style of movie for us, but
all right, don't worry, Ian. It's shorter.
It is shorter, and
Thank
it still has explosive acting though. It does. So
yeah, it's all about acting. It's not about action.
And yeah, it's not. It is definitely. It's a movie about a drummer.
Oh, the Miles Teller movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this movie.
Yeah, so Whiplash, great movie.
Correct.
Very, very different movie for us. I like this. I'm a fan.
Wherever you have your Showtime, so Prime maybe.
Yeah, you can use my Prime and watch it. So yeah, we'll do it when I get back from LA. Nice, Miles Teller and what's his name? I was about to call him
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah. So
And
good
Supergirl.
movie. Oh yeah, Melissa Benoist is in that. Okay, yeah, nice. Whiplash is next. Make sure y'all watch. Get ready. Ian, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Twitter at IanBWT. You can follow me on Instagram at IanHawley12.
Schubert, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at ASchubert14. You can follow me on Letterboxd at AdamBWT. One last thing to mention about the movie before I get out of here. Michael Mann's next movie is going to be the Enzo Ferrari movie with Adam Driver. Pretty excited about that one.
That's going to be big.
But yeah, make sure you check out Bros Who Binge. We're back from a short hiatus, just working out scheduling. But we're going to be talking about The Boys, the Kenobi wrap up of that, and whatever else we were trying to catch up on. But
I think that's it. I think we're caught up.
Was it just? It's not Kenobi and just Kenobi and The Boys. Eventually, we'll get into The Old Man.
Yeah. But I think this week it is just. I think this week it is just Kenobi and The Boys. I was going to talk about Old Man, but yeah, no, for sure. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Bros Who Binge. Remember, next week we're off. No pods, but you'll have some content from Bros Who Binge. Check out the old running backs if you missed them. Inglourious Bastards, great episode. The Dark Knight, great episode. I'm trying to think of some other ones we did. That was just a great episode. A lot of good fucking running backs on this thing. Goodfellas. Like we're building up a good repertoire of movies, and that's why I like doing this little thing. Don't watch that one, or don't watch it, or go watch it so you know that we need to redo it. These guys were tripping hard.
Yeah, tell us if we got it right.
We definitely didn't. They were upset about the structure. Crazy, bro.
I mean, I think almost every person I've talked to, they're like, yeah, it's just a hard movie to watch.
Let's end the show.
Let's
end the show. Let's end the show. It's time. We had a good run this episode. We'll be back next time where I'm gonna just be more upset at the Pulp Fiction thing. As long as we keep doing this show, I'll be upset at that until we redo it. But shout out to my guys as always. For Ian, for Schubert, my name is Lyndon. You guys have a good one. We'll be back the week of. Hold on, I'll tell y'all. It is We should record the 6th, and y'all should have it on the 7th. Or 8th, one of those. The week of the 6th and 7th, we should be back as long as nothing happens. But we'll let y'all know on Twitter and everything. But until then, y'all have a good one and peace.